Hello everybody, so today I'm going to be talking to you about the rewards cards that are coming out in Splinterlands this Monday and giving you a recap of the main points from the AMA, and I'm going to be giving a shout out to the guy who actually posted all the main points of the AMA, but I wanted to share them with you, and I already gave him a nice vote on Hive for doing that for me. And remember, if you're a Splinterlands player, you're posting on Hive, you should be in my Telegram group and you should be dropping your links because I will vote for you. And also, kind of spread the word and, hopefully help you out a little bit, grow your Hive account. So my last video was on bots and it's been pretty well received. I like that most of the people came there and gave constructive things. It got a few downvotes, understandably. Not everybody likes bots, but I think everyone likes the idea of new rewards cards and more chance for us getting higher rewards for playing this game. So Splinterlands came out with this post the other day talking to you about the new rewards cards coming out, and I want to just go over some of the key points, and then we're going to get into the AMA summary and talk about some of the things that have been going on in the game. So the rewards cards are coming. They have this cool little graphic here that shows off some of the different cards. They talk about the fact that they're going to be putting out 21 new cards, which is pretty good, and it's going to break out into 6 common, 8 rares, 4 epics, and 3 legendary cards. This is kind of around what I was expecting in my last AMA live stream, which a few of you watched. I did talk about that. Usually they do release legendary cards, and they usually do release epics, rares, and commons when they do these big releases, and they'll spread them out. The real question is what teams get the legendaries, and to be honest, my expectation is you're going to see teams that have been weaker get the stronger cards. The rewards cards tend to do this. They tend to balance out the game a little bit, and right now when you look at the Untamed set and the modern format, the real dominant teams are Fire and Earth. So my guess is as we get into these legendary and epic cards, more of them will be for the water teams, the death teams, the life teams, and then maybe a new dragon. They like to throw a dragon out in the rewards card at some level, whether it's epic or legendary, to help people be able to get that really cool dragon card for free. So one of the things to note, this is something that every single new player is probably coming to realize. Print limits are a big thing in Splinterlands. They really only expect there to be a few players out there who can have every single card at max level. This is a big advantage to those of us that started getting into the game early, but now going forward, we have a ton more players. The supply is going to be in high demand, and I don't expect cards to be as cheap as they used to be. Also, there's another point I'll get to when we get to the MA that should say that cards are probably going to be individually a little more expensive going forward. Just more people in the game, and while they are issuing a higher print rate, as you can see, there will be 8 million of the common cards, 2 million of the rares, 800,000 of the epics, and 200,000 of the legendary cards as far as they're getting printed. They do go on to remind you that even though that's a large amount of cards, due to the way that we level cards up in Splinterlands, that it's only going to allow around 1k legendary max level cards. That's only 1,000 people of all the people who are playing Splinterlands that can have a maxed out legendary of these rewards cards. So understand that, and if people are selling them relatively cheap in the first few weeks of them coming out, I'm going to be buying them. Cheap to me for a legendary card at this point is between $20 and $30. Anything cheaper than that is a great deal in my opinion, and anything more expensive than that, you might be able to find it cheaper. These cards could be a little more expensive in the first 1 to 2 weeks, then get a little bit cheaper as the more elite players have already snatched up enough to get their maxed out cards. But we'll have to see. They may never go down in value because we don't know how quick they'll be coming out, and we don't know how quickly they'll be going up for sale. They do talk about the collection power and DEC burn values. These are both going to be lower than the old sets. I like this a lot. This is the teams telling us over and over again they're going to protect their original players. They're going to make sure our cards hold more value, and this is one of the ways they're doing it. You can't come into this game and just get the new rewards card or buy up the new Chaos Legion set and be considered a whale in the game when it comes to your collection power. It just won't happen. You won't take over the airdrops. Really, you have to have those alpha, beta, or untamed cards that have the higher collection value, or the dice and the other little sets. So Here's the overall collection power, and I'll put a link to this post in the description so you can come check it out if you haven't. But it's basically that a regular foil will gift you 5, and then a gold will get you 25 on a common, 20 and 500 on rare, 100 and 250 on epic, and the legendaries are 512 and then 12,500. These are all lower amounts than the older rates. I didn't look up the older ones. You can do that, or maybe I'll put it in the description, but I want to keep going. The loot chest reward is going to be changing going forward, so it's just doing a quick breakdown. I think what we're going to be seeing is less potions. There's just been a lot of feedback that people don't like seeing as many potions. Now, potions are important for the economy of Splinterlands. They help encourage players to go ahead and buy a pack, because maybe once you've saved up enough potions to open 10 packs and have that higher chance of getting legendary cards, you are more incentivized financially to do it, because there's more of a chance that you're going to pull a legendary card, and that legendary card will pay for those 10 packs that you purchased very easily. But not every player sees that, and we do have a large influx of players who are coming here to actually earn an income from playing this game, and I have nothing against those players. It's a great thing to see you here. It's a great thing to see that this game can do that for some people, but they're not particularly people who look into buying a lot of packs. They're being very economical, and so now we're going to see a little bit more rewards cards, a little bit more DEC, and a little less potions. So they're also going to start adding in the chance for us to get Chaos Legion packs. Those of you who get a lot of chests or have seen the 2000 DEC energy or crystal chest, that used to be an Untamed pack. It's going to go back to being a Chaos Legion pack, so that's something pretty interesting. Now we're going to go over the new abilities that are being introduced in these cards, and this is one of the reminders that they don't joke around when they issue rewards cards. These aren't some silly little giveaway card. It's not something that is not going to be valuable for the game, and sometimes you see cards that completely make new teams just so much more powerful, and now they're going to go ahead and throw out new abilities, and some of these new abilities are absolutely amazing, and they're going to change the way you play the game a lot if you have the cards that do these. Now, Amplify is absolutely crazy. So it goes an increase magic reflect, return fire, and our thorns to all enemy monsters by 1. Now that is big, because it sometimes Magic Reflect gets bounced back and it's only doing 1 damage. If the magic monster has Void or gained Void, it doesn't even take 1 damage from the Magic Reflect. So your Magic Reflect is almost totally negated. It's like you didn't play a card with Magic Reflect against the Magic team. Well, not anymore. Now it'll at least do 1 damage no matter what. And if you're playing against a Magic team who doesn't have that Void on the bounce back, then you're going to deal 1 additional damage back. So if they deal 3, and you were going to bounce back 2, now you bounce back 3. They did as much damage to themselves as they did to you. That is pretty crazy. That would equate to return fire as well. Now, Thorns is a little bit different. Thorns is always 2. Now it'll always be 3. This does make my lore even more valuable if the Earth team has a card with Amplify. We don't know that yet, but if it's a neutral card, that gives it to every team. If it's a green card, well then, my lore, you just got even stronger. Force Field is actually a very interesting ability, and we do know 1 card that they tease that has Force Field. This one is basically saying if the other team has a very, very big attacker, then they will not take that big attack. They'll only take 1 damage instead. So if your monster has a 5 attack, like the Micah Headhunter at high level, like a Kron who's in Last Stand mode, or any monster that has Last Stand in their Last Stand mode, this monster will only take 1 damage from them. That is an incredible card to have to kind of counter the Last Standing Kron, which has been something that's plagued a lot of players in this game. So it would give you a card that at the end, the Kron will be in Last Stand, only dealing 1 damage to them. If you have a healer behind that card, then Kron just can't kill that guy. It'd be impossible. He would never kill your character. Will you have the firepower to kill Kron? I don't know. So you'll have to have enough in the background to overcome his self-healing, but it will allow you to not have Kron just blowing away your tanks in the front row if they happen to have Force Field. Camouflage is very interesting. It really depends on what monster has Camouflage. If you have a monster that can't be attacked who has Camouflage that does something really cool, then that's going to be amazing. I can think of some of the low life monsters that have really cool abilities and debuffs that would love it if they had Camouflage. but they don't, and then they get pegged off by a person like a sniper or an opportunity monster comes and just slays them at the very beginning of the match, and you're like, wow, that monster I put in there just to give me a debuff just died instantly. Well, hopefully we're going to see some guys with camouflage so that can't happen anymore. Now, Death Blow is a very, very interesting card. It does seem like it won't play a huge factor in the game unless you're reaching the kind of situation where it's a one-on-one situation at the end and your monster has Death Blow, because basically this allows you to do 2 times damage if the target on the other team is the only monster left. This is also maybe a counter to the Llama Kron. If they want a Llama Kron and you played a few guys with Death Blow, well then yeah, he's in last stand, but you're doing 2x damage with all of your attacks. If your attacks are pretty good, well then you're going to be able to blow him up. So the team listens to you. Llama Kron has been a bane to a lot of players' existence, and you're getting 2 abilities that kind of help with dealing with Llama Kron. Now, I admit Force Field doesn't work at the lower levels because I don't think Kron gets to quite 5 damage. I'll have to double check that if he gets to 5 in Bronze. I don't think he gets to that until in the higher leagues. But Death Blow, without a doubt, is going to be something to help those single Llama Cube, Llama Kron, Llama anything where they just try to put one last stand beast in front of you. Well, Death Blow is going to say, haha, you messed that up. We'll have to see how many monsters have it and if there's enough for you to actually field a team of people with Death Blow, but that'll probably come out more once Chaos Legion is there. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the cards. Sorry, this video is getting a little longer than I wanted, but hopefully it's giving you a lot of value. So the Lava Launcher is a new card that they talked about when they did this announcement of the new cards. So this is a fire card. This looks like a card that'll play well with Jotun. He has a double attack and a stun. That's pretty amazing because that's 2 chances per turn to stun a target. He has 5 attack, which is a lot, which means Force Field will work against him. And then he's pretty strong here, which is 7 armor, 6 health. He's just a really nice card for Jotun to have, and it's a card that the Fire team definitely needed. They had on a 99 mana match, the only reason Jotun isn't really used that often is because Fire does not have that many cards in the 7+ variety that can be used together. They're kind of weird and spread out, and they don't attack that hard, and so you end up seeing those 99 mana matches really being dominated still by the Dragon team, and only a few teams like maybe the Death team, and they're really the only team I know of that can like really put out a good team of 7+ cards that all attack the same position. The Life team has like a 9-cost sniper, the 7-cost sneak monster, an 8-cost tank, a couple 10-cost mages and stuff like that. But there's like 2 cards on their team that don't all, so you end up like spread out and attacking different positions, which isn't something I like to see do. And then we've seen the Jin. He's a 8-cost, just really good mage. He's one of the first cards with Force Field, Void, and this phase with 5 speed. He's going to be an interesting card that is going to be hard to kill because let's picture this. If they have a mage on the other team that's doing 5 damage, he's going to reduce it to 1 and take nothing because of Void. If they have a high powerful archer that's trying to sniper him, well, he's going to say, I'm only going to take 1 from each one of those hits. You put him next to the 2-cost blue monster that does triage in the back row, and he's going to be a bane for those sniper decks out there, and at the same time he's going to dodge a whole bunch of magic and regular archer attacks if those people don't have a good speed. So this guy's going to be a beast on the battlefield. And this one, as you can see, this is one of the legendary cards that's coming out, and this is one of the epics. So now let's go ahead and get into the AMA recap. We're going to go through this as quick as possible, and there is some cards to look at. So the major topics that they talked about was the Chaos Legion, the season rewards training, and some scaling and dev work. Obviously, that's because we have had some issues in the servers recently. The games got kind of slow. I know I lost a battle because of lag in a tournament. That really sucked. I submitted my team, but it just never went through, and I didn't refresh soon enough. So the Chaos Legion updates are that the pre-sale is still planned for September, but may end up going into October. How many packs, vouchers you'll be able to buy packs is still based on your amount of SPS staked over the overall amount of SPS staked. Example, if there's 100 SPS staked in total and you stake 10, you're 10 over 100, that's 10%. You can buy 10% of the vouchers that are you'll get 10% of the vouchers that are going to be given out for the pre-sale. You can sell those vouchers to other players if you don't plan to buy packs, or if you get more vouchers than you plan to spend on packs, then you can go ahead and sell the vouchers. People will be buying them. There will be a market for them. They also said that packs will probably cost more than $2. This is one of the reasons why I said we're not going to really see cards as cheap as before. There's more players to scoop them up, and the overall packs are going to cost a little bit more. This is a very interesting change, but it's probably just driven to the fact that the game economy has moved forward. The SPS token is out. Players can earn more while playing, so the overall investment to get in can be a little bit higher, and you can still make it back. So we might be looking at a $3 to $5 pack. They have not announced the price, but understand it'll probably not be $2. Now, this is one of the reasons. The other reasons they did this is because they want people to have to think about buying the packs, and they don't want people to overbuy them, and they don't want to see a bunch of 5-cent cards in the marketplace because people just buy up the packs like crazy and start selling them for nickels. So one of the other things, once Chaos Legion comes out, they have said that the starter deck will include Chaos Legion cards. So you'll get the beta, the Untamed, and Chaos Legion cards in a starter deck to be able to start playing the game in the Novice League. Now, understandably, those cards, you have to buy them or rent stronger versions of them to compete in anything other than, say, Novice and Bronze. But that's just kind of the way it works today. But at least if you start a new account going forward after Chaos Legion, you'll get a copy of all the new cards to try out. I'm probably going to start a new account once Chaos Legion is out. I'll go ahead and buy another spellbook, set up another Hive account, and that'll just be so I can start making videos kind of showing you how to use these new cards at a low level without having to do a big investment or set up another account. They're going to be looking into changing one of the things that they're starting to understand is unfair and creating kind of an unfair competition. Right now, if you can choose whether or not you want to move up in leagues, and then when you make that choice, it's because you can compete for the leaderboard prize in each league. Well, they're thinking that the DEC prizes in the lower leagues are too high, and it's making certain high-level players just go ahead and stay in those low leagues and dominate them. And they're going to look to maybe lowering those prices so that if you won them, you'd still be happy as a bronze player. But that if you're somebody with a champion level deck, you won't really be incentivized to stay down there and play in the lower leagues just to win those high prizes. SPS delegation is coming pretty soon. We don't know exactly how that will be used, but there could be eventually some people that offer you rewards for you delegating SPS to them, mainly because SPS will have a voting power in the governance structure of this game, so having a huge stack together would mean that you would have a lot of influence over any changes that would come to the game. They did talk about that they expect the game to be running more smooth very soon, and that they are planning to increase the dev team. They do understand that they need to keep the servers up and the game running. It's just gotten so popular recently that they haven't been able to kind of keep up with the growth, but they do think they're going to be past that pretty soon. And I understand that working in technology, you can be struggling, and then you get 2 or 3 more servers turned up, and all of a sudden you're at much more capacity when those ones were better than the last one. So I think that's what we're going to. This season, they did say that they are going to put into effect the fact that you get the amount of rewards cards of the league that you finish in, not the highest one that you make. This really affects players who are maybe a silver player but rent a few cards to get to gold, and then if they want to keep questing, they lose their way back down to silver, or somebody who's in gold who gets up to diamond, or someone in diamond who just barely makes it to champion, but then they don't finish the season there because they don't rent the card for a prolonged period of time. They rent it for maybe a day or two just to grind the way up to that league. Players who were doing that are going to now have to decide whether or not it's worth it to just stop playing the game for a week until the season ends to get their diamond or champion or gold league rewards, or if it's more advantageous to continue to rent the card and continue to quest in those leagues, or if they're just going to be fine with getting the smaller season rewards so they can keep playing every day and earning their daily rewards. This is going to make the economy a little bit more challenging, but it's really going to prevent people from gaming the system. You're going to have to be a player invested in playing the game if you want to get the most rewards from this game. They talked about bots again. They're saying anyone can play, anyone can participate, even bots contribute to the economy, and the team is looking to make it so bots don't affect the average player. I don't know what that means, to be completely honest. I haven't watched the whole AMA. I've only gone through the recaps. I'm going to watch it and see if I get a better feel for that, and I will let you know if anything changes in my mind on that. They're going to take another look at the collection power requirements. There is a collection power requirement to move up in the leagues, and you just want to make sure that they're correct, and they want to make sure they adjust those numbers when Chaos Legion comes out, but not change it so to where you can't, get where you should be able to get. And DYGYCON is coming up on September 25th. I'll do another video about DYGYCON because DYGYCON is a fun event that you can come to. It's hosted by the Splinterlands, but there's a lot of other fun projects out there that come out that people get into, and so it's a fun way to just kind of meet players, goof off for a couple hours, get some sneak peeks. You tend to get some free gear. There tends to be wax projects and Ethereum projects who show up, and sometimes you get a free NFT. Sometimes it's not worth anything. Sometimes it's worth a few dollars. It kind of depends on the project and what's going on. I imagine as the game is getting bigger, we may see some bigger people come to DYGYCON if we can start to put more people in it. I will be there, and I'm sure a lot of other people will as well. Now, just to finish up the video, this is kind of a little bonus section. I'm just going to remind you that rewards cards are not a joke in this game. They are very powerful cards, and if you want to understand how powerful a card they are, if you're a newer player, all you have to do is go to the cards section and look at the rewards cards. You can go straight to the legendary cards, and you're going to see Ruler of the Sea. You're going to see the Kraken. You're going to see the Unicorn. You're going to see the Robo Dragon, the Black Dragon. You're going to see Bylea and the Ancient Lich. You're going to see Humbio, the Spirit Miner. I mean, all of these cards are extremely powerful. I'd say the only one that isn't is the Spirit Druid. That's only really because this one life is really hard to fit in for five mana, but he does a lot, and if he can hit a guy, he gets life. But those fast opportunity monsters just kill him. Dead. Now look at the epics. These cards are very, very powerful too. You have the Axe Master, you have the Phantom Sorcerer, who's this Silence Void, big 4 magic damage monster, made the Death team much more powerful when he was added to the team. You see summoners like Daria in this set, and like Kretch, so you got dragon summoners here. They haven't actually done team summoners yet, I don't believe, in rewards cards, just dragons. So I'm wondering if we'll get a new dragon summoner or a new summoner at all in the new set. You go down to rare cards. You see Finis, who's just a monster. The Efrit Elder, who's a monster. The Captain's Ghost, which is just amazing. The Kelp Initiative, who will just drive you crazy with this. This setup is just kind of ridiculous for 2 mana. You see the Silver Shield Assassin, the key to the sneak team. So you just go through here and you just see card after card that is very, very important to the teams. These 2 archers make the Death team a much more viable team than if you look at the game without them. And then the Prismatic Energy is just an amazing card. So even the commons are pretty good. The Ephron Spiritman is good. The Sea Monster is a beast. If anybody has seen him dominating in the lower leagues, you know that this is. The Wood Nymph turned the green team, the Earth team, from being okay to just being ridiculous with that second healer in the Flesh Golem healing himself. You've got this great monster here. Who else has been pretty wild? The Phantasm has been pretty impressive when I use him in battle. This flying 6-speed monster with return fire and good life. He can pull off some pretty amazing things with this Retaliate as well. Oh, and of course the Sandworm, who's just a beast of a card as well. So I just wanted to show you, these are the kind of things that we're going to see in this new set of 21 cards. Going back to the AMA, we'll show a couple more of what's coming out. As you can see, the theme so far has been high mana monsters. This is a little bit to the fact that we have guild brawls going on. We're going to have boss fights coming out, and you're going to need these bigger, stronger decks to compete in kind of these epic battles. Now, if they are adding a bunch of 7 and 8 cost monsters, it does mean that in like those 20 and 12 and 14 mana battles, well, these cards aren't going to matter a lot. But here you go. You've got is she life? Yeah, she must be. This must be the new background for life. So you got a big mage here for the life team, a 7 cost. You got a triad, a triage monster, which is really cool for that team. They seem to have a lot of these monsters with this, so you can have a really interesting back row that just all heals each other. The death team is getting a new melee monster, so this is a new idea for a tank for them. They are getting a new shielded tank. This is really nice to see because currently the only shielded tank is the Lord of Darkness. This is also a legendary card, so shielded tanks on the death team are rare and hard to get. This is a pretty amazing one because it's a tank with shield and lower mana, lower melee attack, so he won't. There's a good chance he's going to not get hit very hard, and you can't use any status debuffs on him. So no poisoning him, no blocking him from being healed. This is a very, very interesting tank for sure. And those are the only other two that they've put out. So it's been a pretty fun, couple weeks with Splinterlands. A lot's been going on. I hope you all have a good day, and I'm going to end it there. Thanks. Bye.